Ah, look who's here, Lori Hargis and I, and we are
Oh,
going to do our first version of the Inner Circle. And I'm really, really excited. For those of you who are watching the recording today, please be sure and reach out to us and ask any questions. We haven't chosen a platform yet to put our group, but I think we're leaning towards Facebook, aren't we, Lori?
yes, I think we are. Yeah, because most people said that they were on Facebook. So we'll see what the rest of them say that
Yep.
come into the inner circle.
We will make that a private group. But that will happen very shortly, probably within the next couple of days. So, um, without further ado, I wanted to just welcome everybody who has signed up here. I just want to honor you as the founding members of this group. Here comes Michi.
Michi,
Michi, take a Michi.
nice.
Good morning. You can be on camera if you want to or not, depending on where you are, what's happening in your world today. I'm coming to you from the Mojave Desert in my camper van.
Yeah, and I'm in California at my house.
And Lori and I are actually going to meet in person tomorrow, which I'm super excited about.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just welcoming everyone who's either here in person or listening to the recording. And just Caroline is coming in, honoring each one of you for being present today, for being one of the founding members of this amazing group. And really, what that means is that you're going to help drive content here. And hi, Caroline. Caroline and I are doing a class later this week, and I'm super excited about that. So I get to see both Lori and Caroline this week.
Your California friends.
I am a Cali girl this week.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, so I wanted to share a couple of things before we get started today, other than just honoring everyone who's here. Um, I follow a lot of women who do menopause, perimenopause, everything to do with menopause on social media, and there was one post that really struck me the other day, and it was talking about the sacred truth about menopause and how that sacred truth has really been erased. And so I want to sort of start with this nugget that I want to plant a little bit into you. What if your symptoms aren't failing you, but they're calling you forward? And I've always thought about it this way. You know, menopause is when a woman is meant to flourish. Did you know that? Because sometimes it doesn't feel like that, right? It's not the end. It's the moment in a woman's energy that changes direction. And in Chinese medicine, this is so true. What once flowed into creation, caretaking, and the cycles of the body is now meant to rise into vision, wisdom, and inner authority. And according to the natural feminine design, a woman's true bloom begins after her bleeding years end. And this stage was always meant to be your most grounded, most confident, most wise, and fulfilled chapter, not a decline. It's our culture that's really created this idea of a decline.
Mhm.
Menopause is a transition into the crone and not into aging, because this is the time that you transition into the wise woman. This phase is not about becoming old, it's about becoming established in wisdom. Wisdom that we're creating and sharing right here in this group. The wise woman is the seer, the counselor, the intuitive leader, and the one who has lived, felt, and now sees clearly. She's grounded, connected, and inwardly sovereign. Kathy Skipper talks a lot about our sovereignty and how that happens as we enter our menopause. Menopause is your doorway into yourself. Some women embrace that, some women run away from it. Which one will you be? And the symptoms aren't random. Menopause symptoms are energies seeking new pathways as we recalibrate and they want to move through. The heat, the chills, the sudden waves, the feelings that your body is out of sync are not random. And they're not a sign that something is wrong with you. Your sacral life force, once devoted to monthly cycles, is no longer needed there. And that energy is trying to rise. But without clear pathway, it moves erratically through the body, creating sensations of feeling overwhelmed or confused. So, today, we're going to work on starting that recalibration and understanding that recalibration. How's that sound? Sound like something you want to do? Yeah, me too. Um, I did want to say a little bit about we had Chinese New Year yesterday. How many of you celebrated that? Um, what did there was another piece of this. I've lost it now, of course, as is most of my random things. Okay, here we go. Oops. Nope. I'll find it. I had it right here in front of me at one point in my day. Okay. So I've really tried to live through the seasonal cycles, through the five elements for the last several years, and I've really, really enjoyed that. It's brought me a lot of solace and a lot of inner reflection uh, that I think has been really helpful to me as an older woman, but also as a vital woman. So there's been a lot of hype around the fire horse energy. So I want to sort of ground it for you as a perimenopausal or menopausal woman. You know, what is this fire horse energy? Um, It combines the horse, which is all about movement, independence, and momentum. That all sounds really good, right? And then fire, which is um, visibility. How many of you are starting to feel like you're invisible as you age? I was watching a crazy show on BritBox last night. It's a series called Riot Women, and they all form a rock band. And they're all perimenopausal or menopausal. And it is hilarious because it is so true. Um, that visibility, fire also means illumination, acceleration. So when you put movement, independence, and momentum together with visibility, illumination, and acceleration, that's a hella combination, right? So together they represent faster decision making, truth surfacing, impatience and misalignment, desire for freedom. How many of you desire for freedom? Or just maybe a whole day to yourself without guilt, right? And it also represents together increased emotional intensity. Uh, Other than the faster decision making, I think all of those things could be listed as perimenopausal symptoms, right? So, you know, if it doesn't destroy your life, it simply highlights what is already unstable and accelerates what is already aligned so that you have a much better idea of how to navigate going forward. And I guess the point that I wanted to make is with, you know, the fire horse is we don't have to rush into all of this. We can take our time and be discerning and decide where we want to set our boundaries and where we want to expand our energy in ways that are going to help serve us as we serve others. So, shall we get into the presentation? Lori, did you have anything to add to all the fire horse and the all the rest of it?
I'm in agreement with you, Angela. I feel that now that we are in this stage of our lives where we were, you know, giving birth to children and we were very in a yin state, then we gave birth to them, and that which was a very yang state, and we had to pretty much stay in that yang state, raising them, or even maybe we didn't have children and we had a business and we had to, birth the business and then stay in that, high powered run life on the hamster wheel. Now, in perimenopause and menopause, we're going more back into nurturing ourselves and all of those yin organs, the kidneys, as we're talking about today, and then, next month, the liver. So I think that this is a time for us to nurture ourselves, and we can walk with the fire and not have to run, because horses don't just always run. They walk, they trot, they canter, they jump, they do many things. And so we can see the horse and all the different aspects of itself and how we can integrate that with the fire element is how I see it at this year. And I think it's the perfect time for us to have this inner circle and have our campfire together, as we were saying the other night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm, just taking that all in. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go to my share and bring up our workbook. For those of you, oh, before I do that, in the email that you got, it has your login from when you signed up for the membership. learnangelasidlow.com/login. When you log in there, all of the recordings, all of the workbooks will be in there. And anything extra that we want to share with you, documents, PDFs, recordings, something like that, we'll put into that area. So that's your go-to place. Um, and then this link that you logged into today is the same link every month. So you'll be able to find all the things that make you happy on this journey. Okay, I'm going to go into presenter mode, move over here, and share and present in full screen. Okay. Oops, and I gotta go back to the beginning. Here we are. Ta-da! That was quick. I'm gonna move this over to the side so I can see everything. Okay, I think that's okay. Can everybody see that? Good. All right. Unmute and yell at me if you can't. Um, like Lori said, we're going to be talking about the water element. We've got about another month in the water element before we get to the spring equinox and we go into the wood element, which is what Lori's going to talk about next month. But I really felt like for our first class here, our initial gathering, that belonging at the root and this water element, how does it work with the water element? Talking about menopause, fear, and this wisdom that the water element brings us. It's water takes so many different forms, and in a female body throughout our lives, we take so many different forms, right? Maiden, mother, and crone. And so we do some shape shifting just like water does. And water gives us that time to go inward during the winter and do some deeper contemplation. That's always done better if you're very rooted. And so we're going to talk about how all of that works. So, what is the true meaning of belonging? So, if you feel security and support, acceptance, inclusion, and identify, as a member of a certain group. Okay, so we're a group of perimenopausal and menopausal women, right? We're going to find uh, camaraderie within that. But it's so important to show up as your authentic self. We've had to wear a lot of different masks throughout our lives, right? Whether you're a CEO or a mom or a teacher or a spouse, We wear a lot of different hats. And how does that work as we come into perimenopause? Because menopause is often described as this hormonal event, but it is so much more. And from a TCM perspective, and that's where Lori and I are going to work in this arena, is it's so much deeper. It's this recalibration, this realignment. It's like your computer's been taken in for a new motherboard, right? And menopause is a water element initiation. What does that mean? It's a descent into the deepest layer of the self, which is not always where people want to go because, sometimes there's skeletons in those closets. It's the realm of the kidneys where fear, willpower, ancestry, and our destiny reside. It is the season of life when the body asks a profound question. Do I feel safe enough to become who I truly am now? That's probably a question that we're going to come back to again and again. Do I feel safe enough to become who I truly am now? Wow. Yeah. I know there was a time where I could not answer that as a yes. My body was changing. I didn't recognize it. I didn't feel like I belonged to my body anymore. And if you can relate to that, I totally am here with you. So, for many women, menopause brings unexpected waves of anxiety around just that question. There's fatigue if your adrenals have been working so hard to keep you afloat. There's grief. The grief that women go through in menopause is not something that's talked about. And when we talk about metal element, we will talk about the grieving of menopause. Um, or just a general disorientation, like you don't know where your place is anymore, right? Not because something is wrong, but because your body is doing this reorganizing at the root. Old identities dissolve, roles fall away, productivity based worth no longer holds, and the nervous system senses change. So fear can surface. All right. Kidneys and the nervous system, they work together. In TCM, fear lives in the kidneys, but fear is not pathological, it's information. Okay. So let's talk about water element and the fear of not belonging. The kidneys govern our jing, our essence, our life force energy. They govern survival and safety. They govern our ji, which is our willpower, our trust in life, and the ability to endure change. Yes, the kidneys are so important to tend to care for as we're going into perimenopause because it's going to determine how much jing, how much energy, how much essence, or even willpower that we have moving forward. So when kidney energy is strong, fear transforms into wisdom. That's the direction we want to go. Keeping those kidneys strong is going to push us more into wisdom than let us fall back into fear. But when the kidney energy is depleted, fear becomes chronic. It shows up as anxiety, insomnia, exhaustion, indecision, or just a sense of being untethered, unmoored. And one of the most overlooked contributors to kidney depletion during menopause is a loss of our sense of belonging. So let me know if this resonates. I'm gonna stop my share after I read this little section and we can have a little bit of a discussion about belonging. Belonging, not belonging to your younger body, not belonging to roles that you once had. I know I felt it a lot when my last one left the nest. Oh, I'm not a mom anymore. I'm not, telling somebody to clean their room or pick up their clothes, whatever. Not belonging in conversations that once made sense. How many of you just long for better conversation instead of just mindless chit chat, right? The body hears this loss as danger. And belonging is kidney medicine. Belonging is not a psychological luxury, it's a physiological nourishment for the water element. So when a woman feels like she belongs, the kidney chi settles, the nervous system downshifts. The Jing, our life force energy, is conserved rather than burned. And fear softens into discernment. Inner wisdom becomes accessible. And in menopause, belonging must be redefined, not as fitting in, but as being held in one's becoming. Okay, I know that was a big chunk, wasn't it? That was a big chunk of information. So, if you want to share, what does belonging to yourself mean to you? How is that manifesting for you as you're working through perimenopause or menopause? And it does change to different phases from perimenopause to menopause, you know. Um, I also think our give a shit button doesn't, is more activated when we reach menopause. Like, because some things that I used to care about, like, I don't even care about anymore. Like, I don't care if I'm not friends with all those people anymore. So, does anybody have any thoughts about it? You can also put it in the chat if you'd like to. If I have the chat open, yeah, I got the chat open. Chinese New Year, the fire horse is another way for us to see how we can walk in illumination and feel freedom and able to make decisions more easily. Yes, yes, absolutely. All right. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else in here that I'm not seeing on the. Mhm. All right. Lori, did you have anything you wanted to note about any of that?
Yes, because the kidney is related to our ancestry, our family.
Mhm.
This is sometimes when a lot of ancestral issues come up for us that we didn't deal with in the earlier parts of our life. Maybe we pushed it down, and now it's coming up because we don't have the distractions around us as much. And so it's a time for us where we can heal those situations from our family ancestry, things have been passed down, so we don't pass those things down into continue to pass those down into our grandchildren, great grandchildren. And so I think it's a huge opportunity energetically to change that energy within ourselves. Then that will change our DNA, our Qing, right?
Mhm.
And what we can pass, and then we can pass on less fear and more of this calming energy, more because water is, about emotion, isn't it?
Mhm.
And if we continue to pass fears on into the family, it just makes more generational trauma. So I really feel that water, as we know, can be very calming, right? And relaxing. And when we hear water, it relaxes us. I mean, it even when you can turn water on, it makes you pee, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
And it calms you down. And when you do, like when I do treatments, I have a water sound behind and everybody starts to sleep and relax. So we can send in our DNA and in our Qing, our essence, to our family members, to our friends, and to our community and our inner circle, this calming, gentle energy, I believe.
Mhm. Mhm. And part of the way we do that is to to really discuss what are some of the fears that are coming up for you,
Hmm.
you know? I think in this last phase of, that discernment going through this last water element, it's like I was asking myself, what is the legacy I'll leave behind? Like, what will that be? And I think as women, we do that. I mean, I don't have any daughters to pass any great knowledge on to. I had two boys, but um, what will be that legacy, you know? And I think that's a lot of the reason that I do this work with other women, because that will be my legacy. So, yeah, what fears are coming up for you, you know? Um,
Yeah, and do you guys put it in the chat? What are the things that are coming up for you so Angela and I can help you with that, and we can discuss it in our inner circle, in our group. And I'm sure it's very similar fears that other people are feeling, and that way, then that becomes something that we can have a bigger conversation about and really help you guys with that. So please put it in the chat for us. We want to hear it.
Absolutely.
We're here for you.
All right, I'll continue on and then I'll come back to the chat to see what's happening. Oh, I know I okay, this is always my issue with let's see. I always forget to go off of full screen. Okay, before I go back into share again. One of my bloopers with Zoom. Okay, I'll go back to my presentation and full screen. Okay. All right. So we're rewiring ourselves. Um, I chose this pine cone picture because it just shows that every little piece of that pine cone belongs where it is. And there is this beautiful framework for it. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to be using a lot of conifers today because conifers sort of rule the water elements in wintertime. And so I believe that there are 5 pillars of belonging as a menopause framework for this water element. The first one we're going to talk about is feeling welcomed. I hope you felt welcome today when you came into our circle, because it's important to have safety in transition. And oftentimes with menopause, it brings invisibility, and women report feeling overlooked, dismissed, or no longer valued. I think the average statistic, it's a woman age 50 or over in the United States in the workforce is 50% less likely to be hired. And that doesn't even make sense to me. You've got way more knowledge than that 20 something year old that's, vying for the job. So that statistic just still to this day blows me away. So, from a TCM perspective, this creates a survival response and the kidney chi contracts. And so, healing begins with feeling welcomed. And welcome says to the body, you are safe to exist just as you are. So, one of the things that I love to do with regards to feeling welcomed is Kidney One, which is our bubbling spring. And to get really grounded in this whole experience of belonging is to restore safety and presence. So, black spruce, and I like to use black spruce diluted at a 50%. I just love this. I'm like right in the forest again, hugging a tree when I smell this. And placing that on kidney one, which is on the bottom of the foot, right up underneath the ball of the foot, sort of like right under the center of the ball of the foot. And I've got an image here shortly to show you. And I wanted to give this to you, this reflection, to be able to say when you put black spruce on kidney one, where do I need to welcome myself more fully in this season? So think about just you, not clients if you're a practitioner, but just you. What do I need to welcome myself more fully in this season? Okay. Our second pillar is feeling known. We all love to be known. Remember that series called Cheers, where everybody knows your name? It was like part of the theme song. So, identity beyond productivity. Just when you come into a room with a group of people, like having them know you. We're going to get to know each other really well in this group, and I'm excited about that. For decades, many women are valued for what they give or what they produce. In many cultures around the world, this happens. Menopause interrupts that narrative. I loved this sentence. Menopause interrupts that narrative. The water element stores truth deep within. And when a woman is known beyond her output, her essence relaxes. We're going to go to kidney 6 for this. And so if you go on the inner ankle, go down below the calcaneus, the ankle bone, and there's a little well there. And you'll slide right into it. It's called the Shining Sea, where it's going to store the depth of our truth. It's going to open up emotional flow and perspective. And we're going to use cypress. And the reason I chose cypress is because cypress allows us to really put something to rest, like to be done with it, to be able to process it fully. So this is going to help you really understand your value, understand how you are known to yourself, okay? By opening up that emotional flow and perspective. And you can do this with the reflection of who am I when I stop proving my worth? This is a big question. Who am I when I stop proving my worth? I made a list a long time ago that was called Who Am I? I still have that list in my computer. I review it every 6 months. I add to it. I strengthen it. I cherish it because it's got a list of about 20 things, 20 to 25 things of who am I? And I encourage you to do this little exercise. It's really fun. Maybe I'll put mine um, in the course portal so you can take a look at mine. I think that'd be a fun exercise to do for everybody. If we put our who am I lists in there. The third pillar of the 5 pillars is feeling included, having a place without performing. Ooh, this goes back to all of the masks that we've worn throughout our lives and how we've had to perform. Feel like life is a stage, right? Exclusion weakens our G or our willpower, the will to move forward. Inclusion restores direction. And menopause calls women into circles where they do not have to minimize, compare, or explain themselves. And I love this. So we're going to use the support of bladder 23, which is the kidney shoe point, which is an alarm point. So find your natural waist, slide your thumbs back to either side of the spine where that thick muscle runs either side of the spine. And there it is, your kidney shoe points. They might be tender. That means that there's energy that needs to be released there. So you can stimulate them as an acupressure point and then go in. I like to take black spruce and put it on the back of my hand and then just slide the back of my hand into my low back. That usually gets both of those points. Okay. And then I'll place my other hand over my belly button, sort of make this energy sandwich, I call it. This is going to strengthen your core vitality and create some self-trust. So if you're not really trusting how you feel about yourself, this is a great way. And you can use the reflection Where do I feel I truly belong now? Where do I feel I truly belong right now? That feels so good. I just love black spruce. It's just my favorite. Mm. Black spruce is also an adaptogen, so it's going to be really good for your adrenals. We come to our fourth pillar, and the fourth pillar is conserving our life force energy. And one of the greatest lessons of menopause is learning to receive. That was a hard one for me for a long time because I really felt like I could do everything myself. I can do it. I don't know if that's because I was the oldest child or I was just stubborn or I had to do a lot of things when I was growing up that kids really shouldn't have to do at that age. You know, making sure that the rest of the brothers and sisters got to school and had their lunches made and did laundry and all that kind of stuff. So there was a certain hypervigilance that developed. Our supporting practice with feeling supported is going to be governing vessel 4. And that's right between those urinary bladder points I just showed you. And this is your destiny gate or your Mingmen point. And again, you can put that, you can put silver fir, which I like to think of the governing vessel 4 as your pilot light. And when you smell silver fir, it's got that little lift at the end. It's a conifer. It's going to keep you centered and grounded, but it's also going to give you that lift. It's going to nourish that inner flame without burnout. So consider this again, putting it on the back of your hand. I like to use it at a 50% dilution. And then just placing the back of your hand in the small of your back, right at your waistline. And you even feel like, at least I do, feel like I sit up taller when I do this. It definitely perks me up. It does keep my inner flame lit and keeps me from being burnt out, especially with UB23 on either side with black spruce. Your reflection with this one, what would change if I stopped doing this alone? What would change if I stopped doing this alone? And really, um, what we're doing today, what Lori and I are doing today, is a manifestation of me doing this every day and thinking, what would change if I stopped doing this alone? Because I've run groups alone for many years, but having a collaboration with someone like Lori is just what I needed for my Destiny Gate. And it just feels so good to have support. And I hope that everyone in this group feels that as we move forward, to feel that you can feel supported, that you're not alone, and that your inner flame can shine without burnout. And hi, Betty. All right, we're going to go to our final pillar of being connected. This is where fear becomes wisdom. This is where it all comes together. Water thrives in flow. Isolation stagnates fear. Connection to body, to nature, to ritual, and to community allows fear to transform into insight and wisdom. So we're going to do bladder 40 because sometimes we need a little bit of a detox to get there, right? To clear out that stagnation, to restore movement. And we're going to use juniper berry because it's really great at detoxification. And I think Lori next month is going to talk a little bit more about detoxification. So it's a great segue for her. Bladder 40 is right behind your knees in that popliteal area, sort of the soft, fleshy area right behind your knee. It's called middle of the crook. And this is going to clear stagnation, restore that flow, that movement. And the reflection you can use is, What helps me remember I am part of something larger? What helps me? What can clear the way and help me remember I am part of something larger? Today, for me, realizing I'm part of something larger as I'm out in the Mojave Desert driving across, we see sweeping landscapes. There were rainbows, there was snow in the mountain, there were clouds moving, there was a volcanic crater in Amboy, and I feel really small, like I am really part of something that's much, much larger. And I hope that you feel like this group is part of something much larger for you. I've created just this little page that will kind of take you through those uh, five pillars there on the right. Those are the antidotes. So when you're feeling unsafe, that means that your kidney chi is contracted. The antidote is feeling welcomed. If you feel hidden and unseen, your essence retreats. It's important to feel known, so go back and ask those questions again. When you feel excluded, that means your willpower is weakened and you need to feel included. If you feel overburdened, it drains your life force energy and you need support. And if you feel isolated, that's a sign of stagnation and you need to reconnect. So use those as your guide as you're moving through this. And then I've put the chart together for you to go back and revisit. Black spruce is also really good at ancestral guidance and getting that grounding on the bubbling spring with kidney one can really help with that. Cypress opening up the flow, but also, you know, um, giving you perspective and getting an emotional flow going is really good. Putting something to rest, I want to need to work through this. And then our UB23 there below the waistline. Another black spruce point for helping your adrenals as well. And our silver fir on governing vessel 4, our destiny gate for keeping your pilot light lit. And that little bit of detox on urinary bladder 40 that's going to clear some stagnation, restore movement, paving the way to wisdom and moving energy. So menopause is really as a rite of return. In ancient cultures, this phase of life is marked as a woman's return to herself. And in many cultures, women are held in higher status when they reach menopause. They are the leaders, the elders. Even in pods of whales, uh, we're one of the only mammals that live as females beyond our reproductive years. And in whale pods, those elder females that are no longer producing calves are the leaders who take the pod, the group, to the fishing grounds, the hunting grounds, the other areas that keep them safe. So they are held in high regard as the leaders of their pod. I always think that's really interesting stuff when we get to compare ourselves to other components of nature. And the water elements teaches us that what appears to be lost is actually a distillation. And as an aromatherapist, I love to think of that concept as well. So less noise, less proving, more truth. Belonging during menopause is not about reclaiming who you were. It's about inhabiting who you are becoming. And when fear arises, the body is not betraying you. It's asking for safety. It's asking for support and it's asking for connection. And when those needs are met, fear becomes something less entirely. It becomes intuition, discernment, inner authority, and deeper wisdom. So, as a closing water element blessing, I'd like you to sit back, take in all that you are, maybe one hand on your heart and one hand on your low belly. May you belong fully to your body as it changes. May you trust the intelligence of your energy. May you rest when rest is called for. And may you discover that beneath fear lives a wisdom that has been waiting for you all along. All right. Let's see if we have any other comments. Well, you guys are so quiet today. You must be just taking it all in. Uh, well, I hope you enjoy these four oils. They're oils that I've been working with all winter with the water element, and they've grown to be my besties. And I'm excited to share more of this as we move along. Lori, do you have anything else that you'd like to say, or does anybody have any comments or questions? Yeah. Carolyn, are you enjoying your week off?
I am, yeah, just as you were doing that last reflection and taking the time you need, it's so nice. I'm looking out my window and it's raining out. It's been a really rainy week, so I'm just grateful that I can watch it from the inside and not have to run out and do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. I'm glad you got to take time. I'm glad you joined us today. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Normally this time I'm working.
Yes, I know. You'll be catching some replays until summer comes, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's great that you're here with us. And Michi and Betty, I know Betty, you got on later. Um, and Michi, how are you feeling about the different oils and applying them to those areas on your body? Did you have any kind of a response? Let's
Hmm.
look in the chat, or if you want to open up your mic, you can and let us know because we really want to know how you're feeling with this. And Caroline, how did you feel did you have a chance to put these things on those points as Angela went through that?
As we went through it, I had one of the conifers out. I've used black spruce is actually one of my favorite oils, and using it on Min Min is a really in point. And I've also done it up, like a spinal kind of
Mhm.
treatment. But black spruce is one of my all-time favorite oils. So just inhaling it is just beautiful experience for me. I have used the other ones. I love the juniper berry. I didn't use it today, but I have used that very successfully for edema, like swollen ankles, lower
Mhm.
legs. It works really well. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, combined with lemon, I think that would they work well together for edema.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Yes, and then also with the cypress, and I thought it was a good point that Angela made with the cypress because cypress moves us out of things. That's why it's worked so well with water because it moves us out of the fears. It moves us along. It stimulates the circulation. And juniper then is restoring with the pine, the adrenals, which sit above our kidneys and we need to restore our kidneys and our adrenals during the winter. So we still have this 1 month left to do that, to go inward and to take the time for our kidneys and our adrenals and to give ourselves some rest before we have to spring forward again, and start blossoming. Because as we go through these cycles, we're transitioning into each season with each element. And water is such a, how can I say, for me, when I'm in water in the winter, it's like I'm in sparkles. It's like I'm in glitter. The sparkles coming off the water, the glitter, and it's allowing me to envision something for the spring. It's allowing me to go inward and find more inner strength within myself, like the kidneys do. And I think this is an important part of good health is to be able to strengthen the kidneys, but also strengthen our will and our ability to stand strong in our sovereignty, as Angela was saying. So it's a beautiful element. And what a perfect way for us to start off the inner circle, Angela.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you know of anyone who might benefit from this group, I'm going to post the link here. Please share it. Individuals, practitioners, this is such a special place that Lori and I are creating, and we want you to all feel like you belong and to be able to bring more people into this space. So,
Hmm.
um, more to come. Uh, Lori, did you want to share what you're going to talk about next month?
Yeah, I do. I've just got to get the chat off of here in front
Okay.
of me, and I'm having a little bit of a challenge. I was trying to work on that. Okay, now I've got that off.
Okay.
And so can I go ahead and share? Let me see where I'm at. Let me go
At the
to,
bottom, there's a share button.
got it?
There we go.
Okay.
Ah, look at this.
So you guys see what we're going to be doing. It's perimenopause and menopause, the second spring. Renew yourself with Chinese herbs and acupoint. So it's going to be exactly 1 month from today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. And what because we're going into the wood element, we're talking about the liver and how the liver has such a wonderful effect on us during menopause because the liver, is transforming our estrogen. And how can we strengthen the liver as our estrogen starts reducing? And because it's a yin organ, how can we then start helping it detox easier? Because as estrogen levels decline, the liver has to work harder to detoxify the body, clean the blood, and do its job. So, we're going to give you some Chinese herbs. We're going to have a quiz so you'll know which Chinese herbs work for you and know which and how to use them properly. We're going to give you some like some foods things to help you to support your liver and support yourself as you're blooming into spring. And then, of course, we're going to give you the beautiful acupoints that you can apply to help you through the spring, those beautiful 3 months, and then transitioning into the summer and into fire. So that's what we're going to be doing on March 18th. So I'm very excited to share with you guys.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Yes. And I love your graphic. I'm obsessed. Ah, okay.
All right,
Right,
I'll stop
stop
sharing.
share. Okay. Any last comments before we close? We're almost to the top of the hour. Thank you, Caroline, for being here. Yes, yes. All right. Let's see. Were there any other announcements, Lori? Anything else we were going to share?
I think we talked about the class, and then also we want to let you guys know that there'll be a workbook as Angela has made a workbook inside the inner circle, and each class will have a workbook for you to go back through. We also are looking at having a challenge for you guys too. So that way we can see how these points are helping you, how you're getting through these elements, and how it's getting you through your perimenopause and menopause journey. And so, we also need to know, we know it's just a small group today. What social media are you on the most? Is it Facebook where we need to have our private, um, group
Group.
for you guys? Are you on that the most? If you could put it in the chat, if you can't turn your sound on, we'd really appreciate that. Um, Carolyn, what about you? Betty, Michi, how do you guys feel about that? Is Facebook the best place? Okay, I see we do have one response here. Oh, that's just Caroline. So please let us
No.
know because we want to do that. Looking at maybe, I don't know if Angela, if you want to have some kind of a chat where we can always stick a link in or something like that
Oh,
too for people.
WhatsApp? WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp? Okay.
Oh, so,
That
so
might be
What's
good.
up?
Carolyn
You know,
uses WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, WhatsApp might be a good place.
And I know Betty's on WhatsApp. Michi, are you on WhatsApp?
I'm on WhatsApp, so
I am too. And we do have some of our group chat. We do have our Common Sense Community group chat on WhatsApp because I got knocked off Facebook for 6 weeks. So I
kind
had
of
to
Facebook jail.
I was in Facebook jail for 6 weeks, so I had to go to WhatsApp, and so we've just kept it in WhatsApp
Okay.
because we never know when I could be imprisoned again.
Well, we'll send out some emails to get a little bit more feedback. And I
Okay.
think what I'm going to do with this first one, since it's about belonging and everybody coming together, I'm going to take this recording. I'll put it into our portal, our course portal. I'm also going to put it up on YouTube, on my Waves of Change Wellness YouTube. So I'll send the link out in a follow-up email. And if you want to share this with somebody you think would like to come into this program, uh, by all means, share our first class and so they can get an idea of what they're going to get and how this is going to work and how it can help them. So it's kind of like a little bonus I want to offer for members to be able to share.
Awesome. I can't wait for them to share it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next month on March 18th. And until then, I hope these essential oils become your allies. And I hope the questions and the reflections are something that you can deepen your practice with. And don't hesitate to email either Lori or I. Let's pop our emails into the chat.
Okay.
Or you can always respond to any emails that we send out as well. There we are. Okay, everyone. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.